Hello there, fellow Scorpios. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of June 13th through the 19th. What we have coming up for us on Monday is we have the Hierophant. For some of us, this is talking about that there's something about a wedding here, and I'm trying to figure out more specifically, what about a wedding? Some of us are being invited to a wedding, but I feel like some of us are being invited to participate in a wedding on Monday. I don't think that's going to be true for all of us, maybe only more like 40% of us, but for the rest of us, I feel like this is just that we're doing things in a traditional way on Monday. So we may be doing ceremonies like the ancient Druids did or something like that in a traditional way, or we could be doing sacraments like the church has in a traditional way, or we could be doing something that's completely non-religious in a traditional way. And if you look up the meaning of tradition, it really is just something that is repeated over over and over. So you can have daily traditions, you can have annual traditions, you can have weekly traditions, but this is some kind of tradition that we are participating in on Monday. Now, on Tuesday, King of Cups. I feel like this is us on Tuesday. I know we are water signs. That doesn't always necessarily mean that a Cups card is us, but it feels like us to me. And so Tuesday, I think what we're going to be doing is we are going to be letting someone else know about our feelings, either about them or about something going on in an environment that we share with them. So if this is, we could be sharing our feelings about something that's going on around the house with someone that we live with, or we could be sharing our feelings about something that's going on at work with someone we work with. But somebody that we share an environment with, we're also sharing feelings about something in that environment, or sharing feelings about that person or how that person handled something. And I do feel like when we're sharing those feelings, we're doing this in a calm and sane way. We're actually really good at expressing our feelings in a healthy way. And so I feel like that's what's going on for us on Tuesday. To me, it feels like this conversation can be something that is pivotal for many of us. In that we'll be finding out some things by sharing our feelings. We'll be finding out some things about how this other person feels that for some of us will be surprising, and for some of us will just be verification of things that we already suspected but were never actually brought to the surface before. But it does feel like understanding where this other person's coming from and them understanding where we're coming from does change the mechanics and the dynamics of things around us a little bit for the better. Now, on Wednesday, what we have showing up. Okay, I'm just going to show you Wednesday and Thursday. They're partners, they go together. So Wednesday, you have the King of Swords. Thursday, you have the Queen of Swords. I shouldn't say you, I should say we. Okay, so King of Swords, I do feel like these are people that we're interacting with. King of Swords feels very much like a businessman to me, so I think that we're going to be talking to somebody about business, about finances, maybe a lawyer, maybe a banker, maybe a financial advisor, but there's somebody that we're going to be talking to about finances, and I think we're going to be getting some advice or some help from this person. Not necessarily about finances, about business though, in general. And I do think, like I said, we're going to get some help from this person just because of their know-how with the situation that we are talking to them about. This person seems very efficient, very punctual. There's no BS. He doesn't have time for the BS. Everything has to be accurate and right with this person that we're talking to on Wednesday. He doesn't have time to hear, or she doesn't have time to hear long drawn out stories about how we got into the situation we're talking about. Could care less. This person could care less. We don't need to justify ourselves to them. All they want to know is what are the facts, what do we have to work with, and what can we use going forward. So don't worry about giving this person a whole lot of backstory. He or she's just gonna want the minimum that they need, and then everything else is gonna be all about what are the facts right now? What do we have to work with right now? Now, oh, I dropped that card. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so Thursday, what we have showing up is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is somebody else that we are dealing with on Thursday. Wow, I'm getting a totally different read off of her than I normally do. What I actually heard as I was looking at that card after I picked it up is the Hatchet Man. So we've got a queen coming in as the Hatchet Man. So this Hatchet Man could be a male, could be a female. It is a general reading, so I don't want to pin it down because I think it'll be different for everybody. But this is somebody that's coming in to get rid of any BS. Or maybe she's not coming in to get rid of any BS, but she just naturally does weed out the BS. So if you're coming to her with some kind of advice about a situation, if she sees something that is not good as you're talking, she's going to let you know right away, wait a second, why is this going on? That should not be. I mean, she's going to be able to give you immediate advice, probably even before she's heard your whole story, which I think is going to be kind of unnerving to those of us who are talking to her. We like to be heard. We don't always talk a lot. When we do talk, we like for people to hear what we say. I think she feels like she doesn't need to hear the whole story. She knows. She's kind of similar energy to that King of Swords. She just wants to know, okay, how are things now? And I feel like, in a way, I feel like she's the Hatchet Man. And for some of you, maybe she'll literally be the Hatchet Man, like coming into work and clearing out the dead wood. But, and I don't think we have to worry about that because as Scorpios, we're pretty hard workers. We don't have to worry about a Hatchet Man coming in and clearing us out. We're not deadwood. But for some of us, she's going to be coming in differently, and she's going to be more like clearing out the debris or the baggage out of our mind as we're talking to her about a situation. Just hearing how she responds to it, how she reacts to it, we're going to be like, oh my gosh, how come I didn't see this a long time ago? She's going to be highlighting the truth to us in ways that we normally would not catch or understand. But because of the way that she's doing it, it's going to be the truth is going to be perfectly obvious. And we're going to kind of feel like, duh, why didn't I catch on to this a long time ago? But it's just the way that she looks at things. The Queen of Swords is somebody who has been through a lot of stuff. And she has learned through that stuff. She's learned some hard lessons. And so she has some knowledge to pass on to those of us who haven't so much. Excuse me, I know I've got a sneeze coming on. Of course I say that and it backs down. Alright, so Friday, what we have showing up for us Scorpios is the Hermit card. The Hermit card does talk about spending time alone, taking some time to be introspective, to think about what it is that we really want or need, what makes us trigger, what makes us happy, all of those good things. This is a day of really understanding ourselves better, or at least we have a significant time during the day that is all about understanding ourselves better and sort of recluding away from other people, if recluding is even a word, but getting away from other people. And then on Saturday, fellow Scorpios, Saturday we are digging in deeper to anything esoteric or spiritual. We are looking at things to find out if they're real, how far can we take them, that type of thing. We may even be helping somebody else to explore their own spiritual abilities. So that's a pretty cool thing on Saturday. Some of you, I think, are taking classes even. Alright, so Sunday, classes about spiritual stuff. Sunday we have the Judgment card showing up. This just tells me that you have a decision to make on Sunday, and this decision does not only affect you, but it also affects other people in your sphere of influence as well. And you're trying to take into consideration like everybody's perspective so that the decision you come up with is one that works out well for everybody if possible. Okay? So that's our week, Scorpios. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all of your support. Everyone have a fantastic week, and I will see you back here the next time. Peace out.